Hey guys, this is Mr. Waltz. I'm going to show you how to get started on the ruler project. So first thing you want to do is go to your data panel. You can click the waffle to toggle that. Make sure you're in the West Park Engineering team. And then in there, make sure you're in the IED period 4, spring 2022. You might, if you're back at the home level, it'll look like this. Double click IED period 4, spring 2022. Double click students, find your folder in here. There's the Waltz's folder. I double click there. You could see anything that you've already worked on will be in there. Next thing I want to do is set some preferences up. So some of these we already did, but it's always good to check them and make sure they're right. So top right corner, you're going to click on your little profile picture. It'll probably just have initials unless you put a picture in. Click preferences. Wait for it. And so we're going to go through preferences. So we have general. So in general, we want to make sure we have Y up. Okay. That helps things be correctly oriented for the laser cutter. It also makes it so that your stuff that you see on your screen matches what I have here, which makes it easier to follow along with the videos. Next thing we want to do is go to manufacturer. So manufacturer is right here. We're going to click that. And there's a really important button here. It's called Enable Cloud Libraries. This needs to be checked. This will let you download the settings for the Glowforge laser cutter that we're going to work. It'll let you have that all in the cloud, which is going to make your life easier. The other thing is go further down the list here to default units and design. Verify that your default units for design are set to inches IN, and you can change that if you need to. Then click OK. And we're done with preferences. We want to set up our grids and snaps and everything too. So on our previous project, we used the grids to size everything. What we're going to do now is we're going to use dimensions and geometric constraints. So we won't be using the grid snap anymore. So down here where it says grids and snaps, looks like a little waffle kind of, go ahead and churn off layout grid and churn off snap to grid. And so when you're in the 3D view like this, everything will just look white and it's okay. It'll be fine. All right, so now we're ready to sketch. We want to go ahead and make our ruler. So we'll create a sketch here. This will be our first sketch, create sketch. On the XY plane, which is this rectangle right here. And now we can start sketching. First thing we want to draw is a rectangle. It's going to be the outline of the ruler, and then we're going to extrude that. And then we'll go into adding the marks and numbers and everything. So I'm going to go in here, and I'm going to click 2-point rectangle and go down to the origin, click on the origin, and then move up to the right. And so this will constrain our that bottom left corner of the rectangle to the origin. And we could just click to make the rectangle, but if you'll notice that the rectangle, there's blue text and it's got 2.906 inches. So what it's going to let us do is automatically put a dimension on. So if we type right now, that will create the width of the rectangle. This ruler, we're going to make a 12-inch ruler. So I'm just going to type 12, 1, 2. Then if I hit tab, it'll let me set the height of the ruler. So I hit tab and I want to change 1.5. Type that in, 1.5, and then hit enter. You can double click the mouse wheel and then you'll see the whole thing here. We've got this lovely rectangle that's 1.5 high, 12 inches wide. Let's go ahead and extrude this bad boy. We're going to hit finish sketch. I'm going to go to my home view. I like to do that just to rotate it so I can see it 3D. And then we're going to do an extrude, dude. So find extrude, hit extrude. It'll automatically detect the rectangle. And we're going to extrude this. The thickness of the plywood that we're going to use for this is 3 millimeters. Now we're in inches, so that's kind of weird. But the cool thing about Fusion is we can type in any units we want as long as we tell it what the units are. So I'm just going to type 3 mm. And Fusion is smart enough to figure that out and convert it to inches. So it's going to be a 3 mm extrude. And then I'm going to hit OK. So that's basically the shape of our ruler. We still need to add the marks and numbers and letters and everything. One thing we want to do right now before we save it is we want to set up the material settings and the appearance settings. So we want to make this thing wood, basically. And it doesn't actually matter that much. It'll still make the ruler the same way in the laser cutter, but it makes it look realistic. And if we were interested in the strength or physics or anything of the ruler, it would be helpful. So anyways, up here, top left corner in your browser where it says unsaved, I'm going to right click and I'm going to choose physical material. And on the right side, a material list will open up. These are all the materials that are available. This is going to be wood. So you can click wood. And then once you have wood, you can see all the different types of wood. The wood we're going to use is called birch. So there's birch. I'm going to click on this and I'm going to drag it onto the shape. And it will make it birch wood. Now, it doesn't really make it look that much different. It's just a little lighter color. It doesn't look like wood, but it has the density and strength of wood now, and flexibility and everything like that. Also the thermal properties of wood. I'm sure you're very excited. Then what we do, hit escape to get out of physical material. Next thing we want to do, let's make it look like wood. So top level of the browser, you can see it says unsaved because we didn't save yet. We got to remember to do that. Right click. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go down to appearance right here. Okay. So appearance will let us, just like we put a material on this shape, it'll let us put a look on it. And it has all these different settings. There's fabric, glass, metal, all these different things. And we're going to go down to wood. And there's two kinds of woods. There's wood that just says wood, and then there's one that says solid. The solid ones are really cool. They're basically 3D wood where it shows the wood grain. And I like to use those. So that's what I'm going to do. Honestly, you can use whatever you want, but I'm going to use the wood solid. And then we have choices: finished, painted, stained, unfinished. Ours will be unfinished. And then there's a list of woods. Now, over here on the right, you'll see they have a download. Before you can use them, you have to download them. So, like for me, like I already downloaded ash, so I can use it. But if you want to use a wood and it has the download symbol, just click that symbol and it'll automatically download, and then it will become available. I'm going to use ash because that really closely matches the color or the darkness of the wood that we have. So I'm just going to drag it onto the ruler, and you'll see that the ruler gets painted now with this wood grain. I can hit escape to close it, and you can zoom in on the wood, and you can see it's actually got like the real grain, like it was cut out of a tree, which is pretty cool. Okay, so now we're going to save it. So we go up here, we hit the save icon, top left corner, you can see save, and it pops up, and you can see, make sure it's saving in your folder. So you can see it's in ID period 4 spring 2022 students Waltz M. Obviously, don't save in my folder, save in your folder. And I'm going to give it a name. And how about ruler? That seems pretty easy. Okay. So now I'm going to hit save. All right. So now you have gotten started on this project. Go ahead and go to the next video. The next video is going to show you how to do your inch markings. And good luck. Have fun.